Good? Okay. So another part of your project is knowing what makes atoms different from each other. What makes atoms different from each other. So there's a bunch of different types of atoms, and what are those called, the different types of atoms? Starts with an E. What was that? No. There's a big table of, oh yes.
Elements.
Elements, that's right. So this project, we're going to be learning all about different types of elements. Okay? And does anyone know what makes elements different from each other? The fundamental thing that makes them different.
How many protons are in the nucleus?
That is exactly right, Jonas. Did everyone hear that? Yep. So the thing that makes an oxygen atom different from a carbon atom or a helium atom or a hydrogen atom is the number of protons. Okay? Even though there's 3 types of subatomic particles, when we're looking at different elements, it's always about the protons. Okay? So one of the questions is what makes elements different? And the answer to that is the number of protons. Okay? Let's draw some different elements. And we're going to kind of try to draw it together, all right? What are 2 different elements that you guys want to draw? Jonas?
Oxygen and hydrogen.
Oxygen and hydrogen, that's a good idea. So let's go with oxygen over here. Hydrogen over here. Okay, so everyone Google search a periodic table for me, okay? There you go. Okay, so you'll notice, you're going to learn more about this as we go on through the project, but let's look at the H. It's in the upper left-hand corner of the periodic table. And you're going to see a number above the H. What number do you see? Yeah, that's good. What number do you see, Emma?
I see 1.
1. Okay, anyone want to take a guess as to what that 1 means?
Protons.
The number of protons, that's right. So that's called the atomic number. And so the atomic number for hydrogen is 1, okay? Now let's look at the chemical symbol for oxygen is O, okay? So let's see what the atomic number is for O. Not yet. Yes?
8.
8, okay? So oxygen has 8 what? Someone besides Jonas, what does oxygen have 8 of? And Emma? Someone who's been quiet. So what's the thing that makes each element different from each other? The number of what?
Electrons.
It's close. It's close. It's not electrons. It's a different subatomic particle. Johnny? The other one. You guessed 2.
Protons.
The number of protons. Okay. Okay, I want everyone around the room. What makes an element different from each other?
Protons.
Number of protons. Okay, Daniel. What makes it different from each other? Okay, Braden. What makes elements different from each other? The number of protons. That's right. Okay. Protons. Okay. So, if the atomic number of oxygen is 8. What does oxygen have 8 of? Protons, that's right. Okay. So, usually it has the same number. It's different when you get to the more complicated elements, but it has the same number of each of the atomic particles. That means oxygen has 8 protons. We already established that. How many neutrons does it have?
8.
8. Okay. 8 neutrons. And then someone in the back, tell me how many electrons it probably has. If it has 8 protons and 8 neutrons, how many electrons? Caleb?
8.
8, that's right.
I have not.
All right. So, let's, so, if my electrons are blue, my protons are black, and my neutrons are green, what should I draw here? And so if I'm starting with the nucleus, what's in the nucleus?
8 protons.
8 protons and 8,
Neutrons.
okay,
Neutrons.
we've got 8 protons. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of like to mix it up a bit so they don't get all 5, 6, 8. Okay, so that's 8 protons and 8 neutrons in the nucleus. And then how many electrons?
8.
8. That's exactly right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I draw these little lines to show that they're flying around the outside of the nucleus. Okay, so that is what an oxygen atom looks like. Okay, hydrogen's a lot simpler. So,
Read that in.
yep, that's an atom of oxygen. So, what's the atomic number for hydrogen?
1.
Okay, so how many protons does it have?
1.
1 proton. Okay. How many neutrons does it probably have?
1.
1. So hydrogen a lot of times just has 1 proton and no neutrons, but it does sometimes have a neutron. It's called deuterium when it has a neutron, so I'm just going to draw it on there, but just random factoid, this is actually called deuterium. Okay. Okay, and then how many electrons does it probably have?
1.
There you go. So hydrogen's a lot simpler than oxygen. Okay. All right. Any questions on this? Okay, I think we've beaten it to death, so we understand it. Okay.